I
You know,
stretch it.
I did hear though they say that some of these people that out there that stretch their necks, they actually can't have the links removed at a certain point because their neck is so long that the muscles won't actually hold up their head.
Oh,
How
yeah.
terrible is that?
Very.
Just sealed your own fate in a way.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Well,
Ooh.
my wife, who was born in Vietnam, they put a jade bracelet on, and the idea is supposed to wear it for your entire life. She was taking a shower and it click, clack, and that was the end of it. But they'll wear that and it'll literally almost embed itself into their wrist,
Skin.
Really?
skin, bone, wrist. Not in bed. Um,
You're right. In
it'll,
Into
bed.
well, it'll create like it won't like grow into, you know what I'm saying? It'll just be on the exterior, but it'll deform the wrist a little bit if you know,
Kind of
they
like
have
if you were to wear
various
yeah.
shoes
techniques.
all the time, your feet can't just spread, you know?
All that kind of stuff. Yeah.
That's pretty
China, they
crazy.
do that. Didn't
Body
they do that in
morphation.
China?
Oh, there's
Yeah.
wrapping the feet thing? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
They can't
Oh,
even walk at the end of it. It's so crazy.
yeah. Yeah.
Your
But it looks
beautification
great.
got you crippled.
But you look great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the
Yeah.
feet look preemie and tight. There you go.
Well, all right. Not that this is the topic, but I see guys that go to the gym so religiously. And there's a comedian. He would say, you know, he goes, I love walking up to the guys that are in the gym like every day and lifting, and they're like 3 times the size of a normal human, and literally patting them on the back and going, "All right, dude, enough. You win. It's good. You're good. Like stop. You know, like what is your goal to get like 17 times larger than a normal human?" So
Well, they
think
say
about that.
the money game ends, but the status game never does.
Yeah, status
Yeah,
introduces
that
things like
It's like you see
steroids and all that.
Bezos, you see all these richest dudes, like, yeah, they have all the money they could ever want. It's not a money, they don't keep going for money. They keep going because of status.
well, the money
Ugh.
gives them the status. They're the upper echelon status.
No, I
Yeah,
guess in a
yeah,
way, right? But
yeah,
like,
yeah, 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 yeah. When you
yeah.
got $1 billion, one,
Well, did Jesus have
you're
money? Did he
always the
have
baddest dude.
status?
Did Jesus have status? No,
Jesus didn't have status. They wanted to kill him for it. What do you mean?
no. He was
He had followers. How does he not have status?
he started he was a so well then in your so the Wacko and Waco does he have status? The revolutionaries, do they have status?
What?
Jesus didn't have
Obviously, they
status.
do, or they wouldn't be able to think they
When
could
he
pull it
that
off.
dude when he died, they played they gambled for his clothes. That's all he had left. What status did he have?
That's the king.
Of what?
The one that wanted him dead.
What is it? Where's his kingdom? Status is in this world, correct?
Well, if he
Or is
felt no threat, then
time
he
out,
wouldn't have had him
time out,
killed.
time out. Are you talking status in this world or status in the other world?
I'm talking about status here.
What status did he have?
Enough to make the king want to kill him.
He was a
No,
rebel.
what he
He was a
yeah,
threat, is what he was, because he had
There you
status.
go.
no, he didn't he I think Michael's right in this one, Brian, in saying that he didn't have status, but his claim was what got him killed because it was contrary to the belief systems. In other words, he was the son of God, and when they realized what he was claiming, that's when he became a
Well,
threat.
the
But his
blasphemy.
status, but God always chose the least people. Like supposedly, I understand Moses
That guy right
stuttered.
there. Yeah.
Moses stuttered.
Yeah.
Samson, he had his issues, right? I mean, there's like every character. This is interesting. Every character in the Bible that's chosen that became like I guess you could say like a primary
Prophet.
character, and
A
yeah, a
prophet.
prophet
Yeah,
or
prophet.
whatever, they
Main character
never,
role. Yeah.
ever were of a status that,
No.
where he was already a king or he was already a this or already that. It's like the lowly of
Moses
the low.
Moses was a nobody going to a king. Every
Well,
one of God's people was a nobody
Right.
that
well,
joined up with God to do something crazy.
like
Correct.
some of
And
this,
that's why,
From David grabbing a stone he was, they tried to put armor on this kid when he's going up against a giant, which is ridiculous. He said, I don't want the armor. I just want the stone. The stone in God takes Goliath out, right? Moses stuttered, like you said. He was if I'm not mistaken, John, help me out here. Moses wasn't allowed to go to the promised land because he did something wrong.
He decided to, okay, Brian, to your point now, he had a staff and he commanded God to make water. And then when he challenged God, that way he was kind of like exhibiting, okay, I've got all this power, I've got the status,
And
and
we
that's when he got clipped. And that's
exhibited
what's
his
interesting.
demand instead of his request, right?
Samson
So
was the same way. All of them were the same
What
way. The
was the
second you,
Samson's flaw? What was his thing?
well,
Besides
he's
ego, maybe.
he was what happened was his hair was associated with his strength. And it's kind of a weird story, but it really has nothing to do with the hair because when he was at his final moments, when he needed his strength, where he felt like he was at his weakest, he
Delilah.
never needed. He realized that the hair had nothing to do with it. It was God that intervened, and that he at the end, the whole realization is that us three as common folk, if you will, we have the ability to
Love that sound.
be in God's favor, and that's the whole point of all the prophets and the stories is that you take the lowly. Okay, here, who are the chosen people in the Bible?
Depends on who you ask.
Jewish people.
Jewish people. No, in the Bible specifically, this is a direct situation. Why did he pick
Judea.
the Jews to be the chosen people? He could have picked the Egyptians who were at a great status. He could have picked different cultures that were at the highest standard. He picked the lowest of the low of the low, and he does that on purpose and shows how everybody can be in the favor of God if they allow it. That's the point of the whole Bible, really, if you think about it. The whole Bible.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell me how this isn't just worshiping slave morality.
So slave.
Uh,
Okay, go ahead.
well, that's a great question, by the way, because you're not worshiping. Well, so
You know,
Flip
this
it,
is
Mike.
Nietzsche. This is
Flip it.
Nietzsche. This is Nietzsche is what this is.
so
Flip
slave,
it around.
you're worshiping slave mentality. Let's say all the stories have a heroic ending. So they were slaves that became a son of the Most High. All of them. So Samson, Noah, uh, Jesus, everyone. Well, Jesus started off a humble beginnings, born in a manger. Samson was a nobody. Moses was he was somebody, became nobody. Yeah, the story always starts with a nobody.
Well, I could
Becomes a
suspect
somebody.
as to why, based on a 25-year-old expression that I've heard my whole goddamn life, is that struggle builds character.
It does.
Okay, you
And
know what?
nobility would lack this character.
That thing you were playing earlier, right? Where it talked about when you're down and out.
Or destroyer
Okay,
mode. Yeah.
right. Destroyer mode. You're dealing with physical and emotional, but there's a third element which is spiritual. And if you're able to tap into the spiritual,
Isn't that emotional?
no,
Mm-mm.
it's not entirely, but
Spiritual.
you're half correct. But spiritual is a deeper sense of being, and they're finding. Ready for this one? You ready for this one? They're finding that people they're studying people that live long in life,
Mhm.
centennials, etc. That part of the secret sauce, besides eating well and exercising, is having community and a spiritual aspect to it,
Tribe.
giving yourself hope, right?
Mhm.
That's the whole point of Christianity is built around the hope of, salvation, the hope of, that. So
There's a lot going in my head right now.
so there's the carrot, right? Because anytime you do anything, you got to have some kind of motivation behind it. Yes?
Yes. The
Wouldn't you
drive is what
agree,
drives
Brian?
you.
Wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
No, because isn't that what discipline is?
We were talking about that
It's the
last time.
unmotivated side of that coin.
No, discipline,
Discipline.
discipline without motivation is
Discipline.
is kind no, because I'm disciplined to work out very, very hard because I have a marathon coming up in October, right? But the
Triathlon.
motivation is to finish the doggone marathon in October. You're using discipline to get to your achievement, but there's an achievement.
But
Without,
that's also self-discipline because you have to break down discipline into self-discipline or discipline imposed on you by others, which is also a thing.
Oh, that is a good point. Yeah, that's a smart way to look at it. I've never looked at it that way. Ooh,
discipline imposed on you by others.
nice.
Never thought of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
But to the slave morality, because I blame Christianity for so much of the problems in the world.
Like what?
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah.
Basically to say that it seems that resentment and decadence have taken over.
What?
There isn't it. I know what he's
English,
talking
buddy.
about. I
Yeah,
know
he
what he's
does.
talking
Well,
Yes, he
you're
about.
gonna have to pull it out for the layman.
I know
Okay.
what you're talking about, man. I'm
So-
Tell
with
me
you.
what's wrong though, and it's it's at the feet of the Christians if it is the case. I swear to God.
But are those true Christians?
Well, in the meek sense, right? They said the meek will inherit the earth, but I think they said meek back in the day meant strong, but no, I don't know. I think maybe meek means meek.
John, what's your definition of the meek?
Well, there's two different definitions because there's a current definition and as it was written definition. And the written definition is a noble-ish kind of thing, but I think it fits more the modern version, honestly.
Well, when the book was written, we got to go by that, right?
But look who's leading the world. Look at all the fucking child abductions and trafficking and everything else. Come on, the meek have inherited, man.
I was under the impression. Help me understand this. A meek is like the meek is the one that sheathed his sword.
Like I said, there's two different definitions. As it was written in the book, I think it meant one thing, and as it means today, I think it means something kind of opposite. So it's kind of
then why
weird.
are we saying the meek will inherit the earth? Because that's confusing.
They said the meek will inherit the earth. It's just I think that it applies much more to the modern definition.
I disagree. I mean, if the book was written when they were saying meek was then, I would go off of that definition.
Well, I would go off the current state of the world, and it don't look good.
That's why the world is different. The frame of the world is different than what we're talking about. Honestly, if we're really being really.
We said inherit the earth. You said inherit the earth in the book, right?
Yeah, but you're talking about different meeks. Different meeks. But
obviously, there's different meeks. But I think the one today more applies to that sentence. I swear.
John, help me on where it says this.
Yeah, go ahead, Michael.
The statement where society is enmity to God.
Society is what?
Enmity.
Oh, so it's even Jesus said, "Give unto Caesar what is Caesar's." In other words, he took a coin because he was right. So he acknowledged that. You know what? It's true. There's things. Okay, here's one. It rains both on the sinner
just and unjust,
and the just and the unjust. Right. So in other words, the rain still comes down. There's no different. There's still politics. There's no different. But it's how you behave. It's how you act. Okay, why do they call it the Good Samaritan law? Why is it called a Good Samaritan law? What's a Samaritan?
Because there's a verse in the Bible where
Oh, I know why.
Is it the verse? Ahead. Is it the verse?
What's one of the tenets of being a good Christian? Is to be racist?
Resentment?
No, because when Jesus was at a well and the Samaritan woman who was an adulteress, he knew all about her and they had a conversation. And the reason that is called the Good Samaritan law, well, no, forgive me, specific to the Good Samaritan is there was, you know what, let's bring it to current context, okay? There's a white guy, he's laying in the street, and a black guy walks by, the black guy stops, helps the white guy up, brings him to a hotel, pays the hotel bill, pays the medical bills, gets this white guy going, and the white guy is a complete racist. That's really what it comes down to, is that this black gentleman he could have just kept walking. Didn't care. Doesn't matter. It's a white dude. I hate this guy.
Mm-hmm.
but he spent his money, his time, his effort to make
Mm-hmm.
sure this guy was okay. And
Mm-hmm.
that, my friend, is lacking in modern day Christianity. That's true
Decadence.
Christianity, right? That's the Good Samaritan law.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point of that.
So if you
So
agree that it's lacking in the world, then the meek have inherited, haven't they?
Well, your definition, my definition of meek is different than your definition of meek.
Well, if you look meek up in the dictionary, it's my way at the moment. And if you look it up in your book, it's the opposite way then, you know?
let's see. Define meek, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, yep, yep,
Meek, yes?
yep.
Okay, it says quiet, gentle, and easily imposed on, submissive.
Ooh, that's
Ooh,
not
That
mine. That's
the
not mine,
submissive
dude.
have inherited the earth. That's why we have Revenge of the Nerds going on.
oh
The
you might be right.
Soroses of the world, the fucking, just like all these fuckers that got mad money that never were liked in high school, and now they're all
Uh,
getting their revenge.
there is a biblical definition. It says not self-willed, not continually concerned with his own ways, ideas, and wishes,
So
meaning that
selfless,
you're putting the larger good ahead of yourself. Again, that black
selfless.
gentleman
Yeah,
stopping to help that white guy who he didn't have to. That's the whole
self
point. Yeah.
seems like you're saying selfless with that one.
Yeah.
Selflessness. Yeah, good point, Brian. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're absolutely right. And do you think that's a good thing to have selflessness?
Well,
Or is it
I will tell you this: when the airplane has an issue, they tell you to put your mask on before anybody else's.
so
In
that
an
you can
emergency
help that
situation.
person, right? Yeah. Yep. You're
So
right.
after you've gotten your cup good, then it's your turn to pour into others, right?
Or
Only an
how
emergency
about this?
situation.
How about this?
Well, if you can't help, if you aren't even good yourself, how are you going to help somebody?
Well, the Jesus was talking about the girl girl that put 2 pence in the kitty, and it was her last 2 pence, and the guy that put a large sum of money in was a portion of his money, but the girl that put the last 2 cents in, who gave more?
I think we're getting into resentment at the moment.
We are.
You know what I meant by that too. That's funny. Yeah.
John's a sharp cookie.
Yeah. So tell me, let's get back to the thing. Tell me how resentment and decadence aren't ruling the world right now. Please tell me. Please.
So, in order to realize good, sometimes you have to experience bad. Yes, you have to
Okay.
have some
Without
type of
pain, there is
baseline,
no pleasure. Without pain, there is
Right.
no relief. Okay.
right? Right.
Without
And,
bad, there is no good.
and every culture acknowledges that.
Yin and yang, almost in a way.
Well,
Got
it's the
it.
same thing. Yeah.
Right. And let's say the world was completely absent of bad. Would you be able to gauge any sense of good at all?
It's called heaven, buddy.
I think so.
So I think
How?
that God allows.
How? How would you know
Well,
it's
just
good?
because it's the norm doesn't mean I wouldn't pick up on it as a good
If
thing.
everything was good, that would be the norm. You can't tell
Right,
what's
just
good or
because,
bad.
well, the thing, just because it's good doesn't, or it's the norm, that doesn't necessarily mean that I wouldn't pick up that it's a good thing.
What if I've watched a lot of people that went to heaven, right? And heaven's supposed to be amazing, the love that comes from this, and the joy and the relatives you see, and it's
I
heaven,
got
right?
pushed back for
But
that
when
too.
that becomes the norm and there is no evil, how can you tell good and evil?
Well, I don't know. Everybody seems to be talking so good about heaven, but nobody's really willing to do the one thing that it takes to get there.
Right? Isn't that the Marine Corps motto?
I don't
Everybody
know.
wants to get to heaven, but nobody wants to
I like
get.
the Gunny Hartman. I've just been going on his stuff. I sent y'all that message too. Oh my God, I've been loving it. He says, "We love heaven so much, we keep it packed with fresh souls." Oh, speaking my language.
You are the
you know,
chaos, my friend.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, I was just gonna say
oh,
that. He's got the chaos going today.
Got the
yeah,
chaos going. He
man.
brings the
Yeah,
chaos. We try and
man.
bring the order. Good luck.
So tell me, because the state of the world, tell me how the goat is wrong, that this resentment and decadence have not taken over. Because I see decadence everywhere and I see resentment everywhere.
But see, you're seeing it from like us, a narrow slash of history. Okay, if you think we're back to the universe again, let's just tie this in for a second. Follow me on this for a moment.
Okay,
If
well,
you think of the
Let's
actual
go for a
time
walk.
frame, yeah, let's go for a quick walk, okay? Look at the time frame of the universe. Look at our
Yeah.
Sliver.
timeline. A
Yeah, yeah,
sliver, a little
yeah.
bitty. But you, Michael, and I, this is it, man. This is our life. If God gives us 70 years, 80 years, 90 years, past 100, that's it, the end. The book closes on us, right? So, but in the greatest scheme of things, it's nothing. It's
Yeah.
over.
That if
So
someone said if there was a bar or a line, that would stretch from one end of the universe to the other, right? And that was time from one of all the universes to the other. We would be, like John said, a scratch on this timeline, and that would be our life. That little scratch would the distance from the start to the
crazy.
finish
It's
of it.
mind
There's
blowing.
a good analogy for it. Guy said, in Earth, right, in her Earth's time span, timeline, whatever. He said that humanity in Earth's timeline, if it were a football field, is the last inch of the last yard of the field. I was
That's
like,
true.
damn,
It's crazy.
damn.
And we live in
That's
that
Earth.
little,
Now, what percent is humans
Well,
on
no,
that
humanity, that's
Earth?
what he's saying. Humanity is the last inch of the last yard. Like
jeez.
99 and 3/4 inches. We are the
You're
last
talking about
quarter
the.
inch.
I think they're talking about Earth. They're not talking about humanity. Humanity would
Earth,
be
correct,
a blade
correct.
of grass.
Well, Earth as a
Your
whole, it's like the timeline of Earth. We are the last
timeline of
quarter.
Earth. How long has humans been on this Earth? Now you're talking about the blade of grass sideways. The last blade of grass on that yard, on that yard of a football field.
Yeah.
The last blade of grass is human existence.
So you think that because when he said all that, it was kind of a precursor of things to come. A lot of these smart guys are forecasting 50 years, 100 years out, and I can't see him wrong.
What did he forecast out again?
Decadence and
Nietzsche was going on about the decadence that he saw in the world, and a lot of it became from the slave morality, this goddamn Christianity stuff, and the resentment that also comes from this Christianity stuff.
define resentment.
I will. I will. I will. I know
Well,
what
you
it
can use
is,
the
but
definition. I wanted you to do it.
it's basically mad. It's a hater, basically. Yeah. A psychological
Resentment.
state arising from suppressed feelings of envy and hatred that cannot be acted upon, frequently resulting in some form of self-abasement. Usually also, I believe, in response to, master morality is the opposite, right? So this comes from people who can't achieve things, so they damn the person that did. How
Oh,
much
Is it
sense?
because
That's
yeah, I know what he's
resentment.
saying.
You are mad at the world for something that you weren't willing to do or go for or achieve or something.
But that is not, I don't under, that's hard to tie to Christianity, true Christianity, like the examples I was giving
I don't
earlier
think
about.
so. I think it lives in slave morality.
Mm,
how does
it
that
may be
live
an
in slave
outcome.
morality?
It might be an outcome.
Here you go. In Nietzsche, in Nietzsche's philosophy, resentment is a key concept that describes a specific type of resentment arising from feelings of powerlessness and inferiority. Deep-seated, long-lasting hostility directed towards something or someone perceived as the cause of one's suffering, the master morality, often leading to a reevaluation of values and the creation of morality based on negativity and blame. Slave morality.
And how can you tie that to Christians? Help me out. Help me out with that.
Because they preach slave morality. Be the meek. Let the dude do you wrong. All this stuff, right?
Well,
But they
the
also
meek.
damn the person with money. They damn the successor. As you
Dude,
said,
you
as
gotta
you just
no,
said a minute ago, the
you've
rich
made
guy only put a
you've made a
portion of
state.
his
Well,
earnings in, but the
you've made
person
a
who only had
statement.
2 pennies, she put all of her earnings in, so she's more virtuous. Like, what?
That's the
Who's doing
context
more
is,
good? Who's
but
doing more good with the money they put in?
the context has to be very solid, and we're loosely stringing thoughts into other thoughts. There's got to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
context for everything. There's got to be context for it to matter, to mean anything. So the Bible also talks about King Herod, right? And King Herod he built this incredible kingdom in Judea, right, for the Jews, and that it's one of those situations where God shows that he can bless you and he can curse you also. Well, he allows like Job,
What a
He
story
doesn't.
that is.
Yeah, he
someone,
doesn't.
yeah,
Well,
I know.
he doesn't bestow the problems to Joe. He allows the enemy
Yeah,
access to him.
right.
Right?
Yeah,
There's
what
a
a
huge
tale.
difference.
Yeah.
There's a huge. This is where I think you're missing a mark somewhere. So if God's on the side of a street and he sees a car coming, going to hit another car, and he allows the accident, did he cause the accident? No, because he allowed the accident.
I would
He
say
had the
yes.
ability to stop it, but he didn't. So just like, I hear the enemy all the time. I've heard the enemy a 1,000 times, more than 100,000 in my life. You're not good enough. You can't do this. He said that to me right before I started my professional breaking career. John was there that day. And he said, you can't do this. You're not good enough.
That's just doubt, isn't it?
When you hear inaudible words, it's not,
Well, you think in
let me
words.
rephrase that. Not audible. You hear a telepathic word.
You
You're not
think
good
in
enough.
words.
Well, so let's go this route. I can
It's
just
the
say,
language
I've
thing.
heard,
I've brought it
have you
before.
heard good things in your head?
Yeah.
Where does that come from?
Confidence.
Okay. Does it come from you, or could it possibly come from somebody else? So my premise
Confidence
is,
is
here's my,
based in proof.
let me give you my premise. My premise is that we are in a universe that has ability to transfer into other universes, right? So let's say spirits can talk to you, because I've heard good and bad go into my head. And I've heard things, and I've said things, and tell me you haven't said this. You say something to somebody, and it was so amazing, you couldn't have done that. That had to come from somebody else.
Why?
Oh, dude, I've said some really good stuff
Dude,
that
I've
I had no
melted
foreknowledge of.
people's brains with some of the stuff I say, but I know it's coming from me.
Well, I'm under the premise that there's a spiritual aspect, like John says,
Okay.
and the enemy can talk to you, and God
But
can talk.
you are a spirit, so why does it have to be
Correct.
external?
Well, I'm not saying this external. What I'm saying is it externally meaning outside of me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why does it have to be external? Like I said, from my experiences, John's laughing. I can't wait for him to say something. From my experiences at 60 years old, what I've learned is I'm not that good at the stuff that I can do. There has to be something else. And then I know that there's an architect in the universe. And when I bring him with me, I can do anything. Not by myself,
The
with
power of
him, I can
belief
do it.
again.
Well, you're trying to say it as belief, but I can't express to you that I can't break bricks, but I do it all the time. And you're saying it's belief.
Well, confidence, power coupled with belief.
I disagree. I can disagree.
Confidence
I can say that.
coming from the proof that you've done it before or you've done something similar, so
Okay,
you have the
let's go a
capability
different
to
route.
do
Let's
it. There's
go.
your confidence, and then your sense of belief into doing something that you haven't actually done before, and you kind of marry the two.
Well, the first time I broke professionally, I broke 9 of 9 2-inch cinder blocks. Before that day, I've never broken a 2-inch cinder block.
Okay.
I hear Bodie in the background telling me said hi.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
hear
all
him.
right.
That's
I
good.
want to hear him. I want to hear him. Put him on. Let's see what Bodie looks like. See my man Bodie.
Say hi. Say
Hey,
hi.
Buddy. Oh, you're a good boy.
Oh, look, he got a real dog.
Yeah, shut up. That was wrong on many different levels. But back to my belief system. My belief system. I've dude. I've said things in faith. My aunt was getting ready to pass. My mom was going over to watch her pass, or getting ready to take all the tubes out. She was brain dead. Everything was gone. Blah 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 blah. And I said to my mom, I said, "Hey, listen, I've seen a lot of things in this world, and I've seen when God's involved, miracles happen. So don't be surprised if she wakes up. This is a son of a girl that's going to go watch her sister die into a hospital where there's well-learned people that know way more than her son.
Whatever that means.
Well, they've done it before multiple times, right?
I've
And
recently, and in the past few
throughout
days,
the
I'm getting
beginning of
farther and
time.
farther away from like our medical capabilities.
Well, as a if someone's not reacting and you pull the tubes, typically they die. I don't know what percentage, but I know it's more than 99%. By me saying that, my mom came home and said, "You're not going to believe this." And I'm like, "I've heard that before."
I'm gonna try to fix my camera. Keep going.
Go for it. Aunt Charlene woke up and was talking. Look at John just sitting there like, "Yeah, this is normal. This is not normal. This is not." But have you experienced something like that?
Are you asking me or Brian?
Well, John, if you've experienced supernatural stuff that doesn't happen.
All the time. All the
Okay.
time.
Well, okay.
All the time.
So,
And the reason I say that is because working in the healthcare environment, personally, situations, and then my family history, there's this, it's riddled with miracles and grace that has been cast upon all aspects of life. And to Brian's point, you could probably
Yeah.
say it could be choice, it could be chance, it
but
could be luck, it could be this.
miracle
But
after miracle, John, you said riddle with miracle after miracle after miracle after miracle after. Like I've seen miracle after miracle after miracle, and one miracle is impossible.
I feel
But
like this is a
with us
God in the
seeing,
gaps argument, by the way.
nah, not really, because God in the gaps, you're talking about. So I think what I relate with John is we've seen too much. And the disciples said the same thing, and they went to the cross. They went to die for this. We've seen too much for it to be chance. There's been too much. Jesus walking on water, bringing back people from the dead.
I'm not
Bringing back
saying
his.
it's chance, but I am saying that just because we call it a miracle because we don't understand it, you know, if we understood it, we'd call it science.
You're
You can
hurting my
call it
brain again.
whatever you can. You can call it whatever you want, right? But
But what?
I don't deny that miracles happen, but I deny
Okay.
that we just don't understand how they happen, so we call them miracles.
Okay. Right.
But I feel like it's a God in the gaps argument because it's like this is happening whether you want it to or not. So it's like
here's the thing: if you there's things that maybe or maybe not. I would hope, Brian, and to some respect, I would hope this that you have an experience in your life where you're like, this doesn't make sense. How did this
oh yeah.
happen?
Oh yeah.
What in the world? How did this? It's there's something
The
more.
math doesn't
And
add
like
up.
it doesn't add up because
Well, just because we say
there's
what are
a
the odds,
scientist.
just because we say what are the odds doesn't mean that it's some
No,
other
I get
thing,
you. I
right?
get you, but it hits you a certain way where you're like, There's something going on here that I'm not quite sure because we're so
There's the
sure
gap.
of ourselves. We're
There's the gap.
so sure of ourselves on this planet, and we know all this
Mm,
stuff, and
mm.
we're so proud of ourselves,
Preach.
and we're just
Preach.
right. But in reality, we ain't shit.
I think I say it all the time. I said it to my friend earlier today. I said, yet we think we're so smart, you know?
We aren't.
That's what I say about the medical thing. I was talking to him about medical stuff, and I was listening to a guy the other day. He's like, yeah, our biological stuff just isn't up to what it should be. He's like, in most of medicine, we either cut stuff out or give you drugs, and sometimes that doesn't work, and it's just like, we really don't have a lot of options still.
You know what? Again, working in the healthcare field for 30 some years, it's what they're turning to now. It's kind of like, I hate to say it, but AI is starting to kick some butt in healthcare.
Good. Good.
We
Why would you hate
just
to say that? That's good.
No, I'm saying that I'm saying it because I know some people are like, AI, what's AI doing in healthcare? I don't trust AI, blah blah
Kicking
blah.
ass.
But it really is. We just implemented this device that epileptics can hold or
I
excuse me,
saw that.
keep on their person. We have it, and it'll actually it does prediction when a seizure will occur, and that goes back to that kid I told you about that had that seizure that I had to resuscitate. If you have a seizure driving, like the guy did that smashed into my car that I wasn't in and totaled my car, the guy had a seizure. Its seizures are so freaking dramatic, and if you're in
Well,
the
they're
middle of doing something,
debilitating.
they're debilitating. You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. There's actually people that have developed seizures over certain medications. So if you're a
Mm.
pilot and you're on a certain medication, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, you were talking about medicine. I think you're going to see a huge improvement in medicine with AI going forward. You're going to
Aren't
see,
they aren't they starting to let machines do surgeries and stuff now?
Oh,
well,
that's been going on for a while.
there's
Well,
something
like
called the Da
precision
Vinci
surgeries
robot.
though.
Yeah, there's something called the Da Vinci robot. We actually instituted that about 15 years ago.
Right.
Wow, that
And
long? I thought it was like 6 or 7.
no, they've been
15.
around. Yeah, they've been around a
And if
long
I'm not
time.
mistaken, someone from India can operate on somebody in Michigan.
What?
Anywhere from anywhere, as long as there's a connection that's suitable, can be done. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
I gotta
So
stop this. I gotta get
the
my
best
camera
surgeon
back.
in the universe can do an operation anywhere in the world that has. Let me rephrase that. That the end place has the Da Vinci.
Is that not a miracle? Oh wait, that's science.
Right?
Oh wait, that's a miracle. Wait,
Because we understand it. It's not a
which
gap.
one? Which one is it?
Nah.
The
Hold on
men
one
that
Touche,
second.
thought about
John. Touche
and
to
the women,
John.
all the men and women that thought about all these things to get our technology to the level of being able to do that. That is a miracle.
Yeah, that is. That is. Hold on one second. I'm gonna pause this. I gotta get my shit back.
Okay. We did impact the moon on purpose. And then do you know what like when you use seismic tremors to measure something, are you familiar with that?
Yeah,
You
my nephew
familiar?
did that for the
Yeah,
military.
he does that mostly on for like when you want to see below concrete.
Yeah.
Like for instance, oh, we're losing them.
Thank you.
Um,
Killer ice.
Got him back.
Killers
we're
got killed by
putting
some killer ice.
we were putting in a cath lab in the lower level of our hospital, and we had to drill into the concrete. And the architect, this guy is wiser than wise. He's right up there with Michael. He said, if you drill a hole and there's water, you can get hydrostatic pressure, and this whole basement can be flooded with water. Your your best bet is to see how thick this concrete is and see what's past it. So we hired a company that came in
Ground
and
penetrating radar.
exactly penetrating radar GPR, and they GPR'd everything, and they actually it was the coolest thing. And they did the same to the moon by impacting it, and they had a sensor on the moon to see what the contour of the moon was. So I haven't heard about what you were talking about with it, ringing like a bell, but I do know it does resonate. You're
Yeah, they
absolutely right.
said they hit it with something and it rang like a bell. I was like,
Huh.
damn.
It was the bottom half of the
Lunar
rocket that
lander or
shot
something.
the
Hmm.
astronauts up into space.
I'll have to look into that. Yeah, have not heard that one. Interesting.
It must be God,
Yep.
huh?
Easy.
Get back
So
to
how
these
do you
God in the gap argument.
Well, how do you think
God,
the moon
yeah.
was created, gentlemen? What are your thoughts? There's a lot of theories out there. How
Oh,
do you
John,
think the moon?
you want to know if I wanted to know how the moon was created, I'd call you.
Uh, there's so many theories, but
There's so many
unfortunately,
theories.
the biggest
I can
theory
only
right
just
now.
I can only let me say the layman's stupidity. So what happened is when the Earth was formed, particles of the Earth would gap away, and then in the centrifugal force would create something with because mass creates gravity.
It's a good point. Um, the thought was two like objects collided, and as a
Uh-huh.
result, because it's very
Uh-huh.
complex, a portion of it got spit out, and then
There's a
as
piece
things
of Earth,
developed,
basically.
yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but Jupiter and
Collision. I
Saturn
didn't
have,
think of that.
yeah, Jupiter and Saturn have multitudes of moons. I don't know if you know that or not. They
Yep.
have,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
it's incredible how many moons Jupiter has.
Well, isn't
Jupiter alone, yeah.
Saturn has the ring of asteroids?
Yep.
What's that? I'm sorry.
It isn't. I'm asking the question. I'm not making any statements. Isn't
No,
Saturn the
it
one that
is.
has the asteroid belt?
It is. It has its own asteroid / gas belt built around it.
Yeah, there's terrestrial planets and then there's the gaseous planets like Neptune and Uranus and all that. And you're right, there is a asteroid belt. I forget what they refer to that asteroid belt as. There's a term, and every now and then
Whichever is.
the asteroids get loose, and then we get, hear on the news that an asteroid's going to collide with Earth and so on and so forth. But they actually just deployed a telescope called the Vera Rubin telescope in South
I've
America.
heard of that.
And what it does is it takes a picture of the sky and it repeats. It's got one of the largest lens, or excuse me, sensors ever created. And what they found is there's not like an asteroid here and there. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds that are moving within the proximity of Earth.
Yeah, there's tons of them. Tons of
There
them.
are.
Did
There
you
are.
ever? I was Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking, and he was talking about science and fiction, and he was saying like, what is one of the biggest myths that people think? He goes, every freaking space movie has a chase through the asteroid belts,
Oh.
right? And he goes, you see how they're dodging, and asteroids are coming at them and dodging. He goes, in a true asteroid belt, each rock is 100,000 miles away from each other.
Exactly.
So he's
The
like, you're
speed
not
the
dodging, you're
speeds they're
not
moving
dodging
at too.
TV. Huh?
The speeds they're moving at too.
Well, speed is relative. Relative to
Oh
what?
yeah.
Well, if you're trying to fly through it though,
But if you're moving at the exact speed with, you know what I'm saying. It's like that whole theory
but
of
I'm saying if
relativity
you're
shit.
trying to go through a gap, even you don't know the speed of it is relevant too.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what
truth.
computers are good at predicting.
That is true. That is true. Did you
They're
see?
really good at that.
You're talking about computers. So NVIDIA has an AI modeling system going on right now that models. It's become so incredibly predictive of weather because it takes into account all aspects of the earth that it actually is one of the greatest forecasters of weather. They actually have like the earth and all the different
Have you?
aspects that are occurring.
Great, great thought. I've never seen fucking weather accurately described ever.
Oh, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. And
Well,
the
you just
fact that it
gotta
can
get
predict.
minute by minute, and it'll be accurate.
No, look outside is looking outside. I don't know how many times having a boat, planning on going somewhere is totally impossible.
This old Tim Allen joke,
What?
He said, the weatherman. He's like, oh, the only guy who's allowed to be wrong 50% of the time and keep his job.
True. True that. True that, dude. It's disgusting. Like I see rain for 4 days and constant rain from you can see from hours from 8 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, and then the next day it's sunny for 3 days. I'm like, this makes it. I haven't seen an accurate model. I'd love to see Nvidia's.
You know what's fun? You know what's fun in this regard is
Because
looking at
can't
the and understanding the weather on other planets is crazy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
isn't one of them like rain
Acid
jasmine
rain?
diamonds
Ammonia.
or something? Diamonds.
Ammonia. Yeah, there's planets that actually have it's comprised of diamonds, yeah. But
Mm.
imagine it raining ammonia
Yeah,
perpetually.
acid rain. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What about the circle on Jupiter?
Oh, the Great Red Spot. Yes, I've taken pictures of it.
But
Yeah.
this is a storm. It's like a hurricane on Jupiter. But they said that this storm it lasted for so long that it's actually caught up to its tail
You know what? You're absolutely
because the
right, and
rotation of the planet or whatever.
it's actually starting to shrink.
Yeah.
And there's
The
actually
storm.
another storm starting. Yes, 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 yes. Is
Yeah,
that
the
crazy?
weather on other planets is a whole awesome wormhole to go down.
Oh, it's insane. Okay, how about this? Saturn has an actual hexagon on the top and the bottom, and people are like, "Oh my gosh, there's something alien about that." What they don't realize is that nature takes certain shapes depending on the effects. Like, if you think about it, are you guys familiar with the golden ratio
Yes.
at all? You are.
I've heard of it.
Fibonacci, right?
Fibonacci, yes, the golden ratio. In
Yeah.
nature, things have this ratio that's repeated, like the
It's
snail
always,
shell,
yep.
flowers, trees, pictures, even humans, when we take pictures, there's a Fibonacci ratio circle, if you will, there too. Architecture, oh, Mike, it's riddled in architecture, especially like when you're in Italy.
Hmm.
It's just it's a natural phenomenon. Roof lines, everything. There's that ratio, the golden ratio, and you can apply that to things in the universe and to different planets, how things are formed. It's crazy. It's pretty impressive. If you ever get the chance to look it up, it's
Yeah,
worth looking at.
the golden ratio is crazy. The Fibonacci, like how do you even come up with this for one?
Right.
He's like, my miracles. That's a fucking miracle, dude.
Oh, unquestionably.
This is
Unreal.
probably bigger. They've actually put some shade on this E equals MC squared things in recent days, but nobody's really fucked with this golden ratio thing.
No, it's as real as it gets,
Because
you
this is
know.
like the flower of a cell. It's like the flower of the flower of life. I think they call it, right.
How people move, how just
Everything. It's
water
everywhere.
water moves, earth
Yeah, you
moves,
want to do
the
the
sky.
matrix? There's your formula.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's amazing, you know. Back then people didn't have cell phones and
A God and
video
the God. It was
games.
God. Everything was God back then.
But I mean they allowed themselves like
It's
when
still God.
yeah.
Think
I
about this.
oh,
Then to now, the only difference is we understand it.
Mike, you you just said something very, very important. Okay, do we discover things or do we create things? In other words, was it always there and we found it,
No, all we do is find. We don't make anything.
right?
Yeah, I'm on the page. Dude. Listen, you can blow my mind. You guys have been blowing my mind constantly. So I'm gonna say that we just realize it as a discovery. It's
Yeah.
always been there.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
Yep.
there's
Yep.
atomic, subatomic, and then what's the new one?
Well, there's the very, very large,
Quantum
there's a very
physics.
the quantum is a very, very tiny, right? And then yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
but what I'm trying to say is I feel, and trust me, I'm not a scientist. When I was in school, the atom was the smallest molecule that we knew of, and we said that's the smallest molecule, period. Then there's subatomic, now we're into the quantum, right? So
Neutrinos.
we're discovering.
Yeah.
It's always been there. The quantum field's always been there. We just realized it in the last 10, 20 years.
This is why the God in the gaps argument is so strong.
Well, the
The God in the gaps, help me understand how that
Because
quantifies the God.
everything is God until it turns into science.
That's where I disagree.
Well, everything's God kind of anyway in that regard, but then we call it science because we
That's
think
my point.
we can kind of manipulate
God
it.
created it, and we just discovering it. We call it science. That
Well,
you know, like
science is
we
a
all agree we're idiots.
provable, the scientific method. It's a provable thing
Right.
that you can
Kind of.
plug this in, then you'll get this result, which is what we use to base society on and everything else.
Granted, with everything you're saying, but what I'm saying is all this stuff that's been there. We're just realizing it at certain points in our lives. Like God's allowing us to see it.
I'll tell you what, though, I'm getting more and more pushback in my head anymore about people that just fucking call everything God. It's kind of
How
annoying
so? Where's the pushback? Help me out with
because
that.
it's annoying. It's just like default God everything. Like, so it isn't a thing. It's just everything. So why even bring it up if it's just everything?
Well, let's put it this way. Nobody can explain the origin of the universe.
No, right?
Right. Everybody says the Big Bang,
Right.
which they don't know.
Right.
They don't know exactly when. They don't know exactly how. They don't know who paid the energy bill for it. Some scientists say that it's fact. Some scientists say that if there was an explosion of that capacity from the pin of a needle, everything in the universe would be vaporized. It would nullify the entire situation. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Anything that created the universe would be called God. Everything needs to be created. Every building is evidence of a builder. Right?
This is your architect thing. It's just whatever. I don't know.
Well, it's okay, but it's
It's a
evidence
catch-all.
of
It's a fuck. That's what it is. It's a catch-all for everything.
it's
So God doesn't
it's
even
a
the God. Does the God even have a definition at that point, or is it just it's everything?
yeah. Well, would you consider that anything that created the universe would be considered a God?
Because this really just splits from your spiritual thing that you want to claim. Because if it's a thing that's connecting with us spiritually, it can't just be fucking Mars and Pluto and space and everything.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Jesus, listen. So here's my
So
point.
define God.
It's someone that created the universe.
Someone. So it's a one. It's a
A
thing.
being that created the universe. There has to be a creator.
Why?
For every creation, creation is creation.
Only
Everything you see,
right.
everything that we realize
That's
is
in our
creation.
minds, though.
It's not in our minds. It's physical.
But no, I'm saying that the fact that somebody had to create it for it to exist is a thing that's only in our mind. Because we live this biological life that's like a beginning and an end.
Let me just give you my definition. So, God is not inside. Everybody's like, who created God? Well, God wasn't created. Period. So he's not living in this universe. In this universe, everything is created. He's outside this universe, outside time, space, and matter. To create time, space, and matter. The computers that we're watching on this, the people that designed the computers are not in the computers working the numbers. They're outside of it, creating the computers that are creating these lives inside themselves. God is outside time, space, and matter, creating all of this. And they're saying it came from the pit of a needle, and all this exploded. John, if you were to design a world inside a computer that has time, space, and matter, right? How would you start it? You would start the program by turning it on. So if it came from the pin of a needle and exploded into this big huge universe, does that how? And they're talking about code inside laser beams now. They can see code, like literal code, like numbers and letters coming, not numbers and letters, but just numbers inside laser beams. Check that one out too. That's gonna fucking hurt.
So
Those lasers we use, the lasers we
the
use to level everything in business, in construction. Inside those lasers, people are staring, and they're not on DMT, buddy. They're staring the lasers, and they're able to see like the code.
they're mapping the DMT world as we speak.
Are you serious?
Yes, scientists. I think at Harvard, maybe one of them, Stanford, maybe. But
They
they're actually
don't understand that one.
because so many people are having similar experiences on DMT that they're actually trying to map the DMT world to see if it's like all a relative thing. It's pretty fucking cool.
Well, when people are on, maybe not even in the same space, but we'll say in the same space, people go on these retreats and they have DMT trips, and they experience the same thing. Like
Right.
they're in this world.
Like you always hear about the leprechauns
different than this
and
one.
some other stuff, right?
Right. So an alternative universe. That's what I call heaven, is alternative universe.
Yeah, but that God argument gets old, man. I get more and more annoyed because people just want to play God as a catch-all for everything they don't understand. The same thing with the God and the gaps all over again.
Well, as soon as you understand it, it's still not God. It's still not God.
Well, shit that I understand, I have language for, and I can use my language to communicate with other humans about the thing, so I don't have to just say, thing XYZ0127. Be like, no, it's an apple. I don't have to say that.
Who created language?
Who created language? I mean, you could say who created, and you could just throw God and everything at that point, right?
You could.
I don't
Agreed.
know, man. So he's a
Who created
spiritual
language,
being
though?
and also the creator of the universe, and he cares so much about this little being that lives on this area. Like, I don't know. I don't know.
It's hard to believe. I get it. John, what do
Yeah,
you think? John's over here just silently laughing at us.
yeah, he
No, I
is.
think it's good. I think it's good. I think you'd be naive not to question things, and I think it's noble to question things. And I think when you question things, the Bible even says this, you question it, you learn and you learn and learn and question and learn, and you think you got it, and you never really do. And God purposely, okay, I know what you're saying, Brian. Like I'm saying, God did. But it's like the Bible even acknowledges that it leads to frustration because as much as we think, okay, this is really hard to
This is
take.
again.
Ready?
We think we're so
This
smart.
this is gonna blow your mind. You ready for this? Think,
Ready?
okay, ready? All right. The smartest human being on the planet Earth. Let's
219
just make
IQ.
right. Yeah, exactly. I should drink when I say that. Every time we say that, we should drink. Um, okay. AI is going to be surpassing that soon, if not already, meaning that they're capable enough to where when you measure
Maybe.
intelligence, that AI
Hmm.
will be
Hmm.
able to surpass, in other words, include and surpass the ability for a human being, the capability of a human being to be as smart as AI. All right, so now let's just take that and let's multiply that and keep multiplying, make it exponential. Imagine the intelligence of us being at such an exponential level. The person down here will never, ever, ever, ever conceptually know what this person has thinks. So that's what we're doing. We're
Yeah, it's
debating
lonely at the
from
top.
this. We're debating at the bottom of the curve when what we're talking about is uh, way up
You're
here.
way up there.
So that's why I get quiet because I think about it, but I don't have answers, right? You ever have that situation where you think about
You
something but
know,
you don't have the answer?
this is the tail end of that Naval episode I just finished with Chris
Ooh,
Williamson. I was going to tell you guys about this. It took me 3 months off and on to actually finish taking, because a lot of the podcasts, especially the Brainiac ones, I've been taking notes on for the past few years. So we'll
yeah.
see if we get to it down the road or whatever. But this is the tail end of the last conversation I saw with him. Said that people struggle when they try to answer questions from a different level than they were asked. So you ask this question as a human, but you're trying to
Yeah.
answer it as if you're God.
Thank you. Oh, Brian. Oh my God. Now my mind. Now you got me, man. That is perfect. There was okay. Let me bring it to Star Trek for a second.
Because that's a lot of issues that people have with these bigger questions, right? They'll ask it as a person, as a regular person, but they'll try to answer it as some like fucking benevolent being or
Deity.
whatever the hell, right?
There's a Star Trek. I don't know if you're Star Trek fans. I'm a Star Trek fan. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Captain Kirk was trying to debate Spock on something, and Spock literally said, in order for you to have a proper debate, you would have to basically get on my level, and you're not even close. So I'm not even going to talk to you. Meaning, and the lesson there was you're not even in the same
You're not
room. You're not
in
even
the
in the
same
same
ballpark.
universe. Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, but at the same time, like I said earlier, Brian, I admire you for questioning because we shouldn't stop questioning. We shouldn't stop
Mhm.
asking
Mm-hmm.
because
Always.
eventually the conclusion, you start creating somewhat of a conclusion that you have to be happy with, right? But in reality, the conclusions, well, I mean, to some degree, you're trying to move closer, right, to it.
You
You're
feel
not
like you're
just,
logically creeping towards something.
right?
But that
And the thing
changes, as you
is,
just said. We think we're so smart. Everything just upends itself all over again. Because then we thought we were so goddamn smart until recently, and then we figured out quantum. And you were like, quantum? What the fuck, quantum? I don't know. Doesn't pay attention to any of the known physics that we know about. Doesn't give a fuck what we think about logic. Doesn't give a fuck if we throw something up, it comes down. It's just quantum does whatever the fuck it wants.
oh, Mike, he's on fire. He's on fire
Yeah.
over
Let
here.
Let him cook.
Let
Let
him
him
loose,
cook.
man. Take the
Lieutenant.
leash off.
Let him
Take that
cook. Let
him.
him cook.
The
what'd you
slave
say,
morality is
mentality?
gone.
It's
Here comes
gone.
the chaos.
That's
Here
good
comes the
stuff, man.
chaos.
That is good.
But
No,
it's
you're
true. It's
absolutely right.
like every time we think we have a revelation, it's like you dig deeper and you're never gonna find the end of it. Like you said, it was an atom, and now it's a neutroni. What the neutron? What is that thing called?
Well, there's
The one that
something called
goes through the
subatomic
Earth. Those things that go
subatomic
through the Earth.
subatomic particles, and one of them is called a neutrino. Neutrinos
There you
pass
go.
through. That supposedly, I forget what they figured out how many neutrinos pass through you, because
No
essentially we're
shit.
all made up of electrons, and this is not real.
You know about the neutrinos,
It's not
Mike?
real.
Mike knows about
Huh?
the neutrinos.
There you.
He
Yeah,
knows about the neutrinos.
Yeah, those are pretty
yeah,
wild.
They are.
yeah. It's pretty crazy.
I feel like the
Like
universe is
this
like
one
a woman,
this one
right? Like they
comedian
say,
said
as
it.
soon
This
as you
one
think you
comedian
got it all figured out, they switch it up.
this one comedian said it best. There's satire, there's truth in comedy. He said that we don't know why that when my hand hits this table, why it doesn't go through the table.
He's right.
We don't understand that on a nuclear quantum physics level. Photons pass through, and we're made of, and we should be able to go through, and we don't. We don't understand that.
Or
So
physical,
when
like
we
a
figure
physical
that out, we
thing.
won't
Yeah.
understand something else. And when we figure that out, we won't understand something else. I mean, you
Yep.
got to understand that we, like you keep saying, we think we're that smart.
Ah.
We are fucking idiots.
We're fucking
And
cavemen. We don't even know it.
and to think anything greater than that is insane.
Hey, this
If
goes
you
back
just
to
think,
more to my point before when I said I don't know why anybody really thinks they're smarter than cavemen.
we keep proving that it's true. So let's talk about 1,500 years ago. We knew for a fact, not even 1,500 years ago, 500 years ago, we knew the Earth was flat. Not say about
Right, that's a good example.
900 years ago,
It's a good
the Earth was
example.
flat. And if you took a boat, you'd fall off. They knew that and taught that, right?
Yep.
Then 500 years ago, we knew we were the center of the universe,
Yeah.
that the sun went around us. The evidence is there. It's up every day and it keeps coming around. That's the evidence, right? We knew we were the center of the universe. Galileo said, no, we're not even fucking close to the center of the
And
universe.
he got thrown in jail by the Catholic Church. But go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say something to the effect like anybody who questions this shit is usually killed. So.
Well, you can't do any. The one thing I'm learning, I do study greatness, and anybody that's anything great, everybody has to say the wrong first.
Well, you're crazy until you're a
Right.
genius.
There you go. That's a better way of putting it. Anybody that's done anything great, everybody had to say he's crazy.
That's with anything. The guy who built Bitcoin, the guy that built
Everything.
Google, fucking anything, the internet. Like you're crazy until you're a genius, you know?
No, that's a good way of putting it. You're crazy until you're a genius.
Yeah, that's because you see your vision and nobody else sees it. Yeah.
What is the definition of vision?
Well, that's a hard one. Because that's something I've struggled with a lot.
Everybody does.
Well, it's the thing of like, okay, I'm not a builder, you're a builder. I know, like I said before at the beginning, I think I was talking about John actually. I can do a human has done it. That means I can do it.
Yep.
But at the same time, I can't go be a builder. Even if I can put the wood together, even if I can make if I can do all the things, I don't have the fucking vision for it all to make it all come together. That's a hard
vision
one.
is the art of seeing the unseen.
It's a vision. I have this in my head. This is why we have written language, communication, pictures, fucking everything, right? Is because we want to get something out of our head and put it out there like a blueprint. A blueprint is a great example because we have something in our head and we made a thing of it to where others can universally understand what we're trying to get out.
Where humans can have a common goal. That's what a blueprint is.
Well, we're on the same page. We're on the same team. It's the commander's intent all over again.
Commander's intent. Exactly.
What's fascinating, though, as you age, your frame of reference builds, your thinking changes, you see patterns.
Context, right? The context changes.
Context changes. Sometimes context changes or gets reinforced.
Well, this is the whole reason that art is even a thing, right? Because people that don't have context can't really make a thing of it. But somebody who's like, oh, I feel the pain in this picture or whatever the fuck, right? It's the
Oh, I see.
context.
Oh,
It's the
abstract.
context within you that makes the thing. It's the meaning thing. Same thing
That
with
is
the
true.
fucking jewelry all over again, right? What's a diamond worth? Well, what is it worth to you? Because that's what the fuck it's worth.
Well, now you're talking marketing. That's a different. That's a
Well,
different
if
one.
the Beers wanted to, they could flood the diamonds with market with diamonds right now, and they would
You're right.
dilute it.
You're
They
absolutely
Dude,
right.
if you want to realize how invaluable diamonds are,
Mm.
like we use them on our fucking tools. We buy a $90 blade and it's a diamond
Yeah,
blade.
yeah, a diamond tip. Yeah.
That's how useless, I mean, valueless diamonds actually are.
Well,
If you
I
want to
consider
find
that
out
useful if
how
you're doing something with
valueless
it.
diamonds are, take your wife's ring to a pawn shop and see how much they'll give you for it.
Well,
Right, right. Mm.
here's something to think about. You would think scarcity is what creates value. Did you know in our Earth we have so much gold, but it's the cost of extracting it becomes cost prohibitive because
Really?
yeah, oh yeah, there's ways to extract so much gold from our planet, but because of the means of trying to extract it is just beyond like it's not worth it is
Expensive.
what it comes down to. Right, exactly, the cost prohibitiveness of it all. So,
Well, wouldn't you do I remember this one God, Mission Impossible. Remember the TV show Mission Impossible?
oh yeah.
You don't, Brian, but I'm sure John might. They had one of the. Ooh, there you go. They had
Uh-oh.
one
Have
of
you
them
mhm.
See
where they
this?
were trying to rob gold from a underground facility, and it
Uh-huh.
was this room, and I thought it was brilliant. And so Leonard Nimoy was, they're touring the gold, and then
Uh-huh.
like they'll say it's Fort Knox. There was just a little window, right, and you could see all this gold on these shelves, just stacked up. And then Leonard Nimoy just dropped a silver ball, and it rolled to the middle of the room, right.
Uh-huh.
And so what they did was they bored underneath there and they drilled up, and then you just see a drill come up, and the marble or whatever the thing just moves. Then it comes down and the marble goes in, right? And then up comes this heater, and it heats up the room, and all the gold melts and goes into the hole, and then they just start
Oh,
pouring gold from it.
nice.
So right, and then they went back up with a sprayer and just sprayed the room, and then they came back and put the cap on the room, and then they don't know how and when the fucking gold went. Right? It was brilliant how they did
Nice.
it. But
Hmm.
Yeah.
can't you drill into a gold vein, heat it up, and then suck it out?
Well,
Would
that's the
that be an
thing.
easier way then?
If you find a gold
Wouldn't it
vein, right?
wouldn't it cool along the process? You have to keep it hot.
Right.
There's
I'm sure we
there's
could do that.
there's that, but then the way the gold is embedded in the earth, let's say there's just little fragments, but
Oh,
everywhere.
I see
Like,
what you're saying. Yeah.
but Brian's got a perfect example of where all the gold is kind of condensed in one spot. Yes, Brian?
Yeah, it says asteroid Psyche 16 has been found to contain gold reserves worth 700 quintillion. That's enough
Yep.
to make everyone on the Earth billionaires.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
but then it devalues the gold, then it's not worth it.
Exactly. Now it's
Yeah,
not
that's what it
scarce
says right
anymore.
here. Okay,
If
yeah,
everybody had
scarcity creates value,
$100
right?
million
And they say,
would be useless.
okay, now for the bad news. This isn't going to happen. Yes, 16 Psyche and other asteroids will probably be mined for their metals, but once those metals start hitting the market in large quantities, they're unlikely to be precious for much longer.
It's called equilibrity. I just learned about the
Equilibrium.
value of equilibrity of anything. And what it is everything's an asset.
Equilibrity?
Equilibrity. Everything has to hit an equilibrity. So if you have more of it, the price will drop and drop, drop. It'll finally equalize. And what'll
Why is
happen
this
is
not
you,
equilibrium?
well,
Well, it's the equilibrium
it's
of value.
equilibrium, but equilibrity is the act of it getting into equilibrium. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
So,
does.
so
It
when
does.
you
It's the
bring this
equilibrium of
asteroid,
value.
they get this
Yeah.
asteroid and they dole all the gold out. All of a sudden, you see it kind of go, "Ee," like you say.
Yeah.
Now it's
Well, it's
worth
a supply and demand. Supply
a
and
buck,
demand.
a buck a pound. You know.
A buck a pound.
Yeah,
A
can you
buck a
imagine?
pound. Yeah.
Well, like,
The
okay, look at.
hey, well, the Anunnaki would be happy.
Have you guys ever
Yeah.
tasted? Have you ever tasted? Have you guys ever had caviar?
Oh, forever ago, but yeah.
Okay. Tastes like shit. It really does. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
okay.
man, yeah,
It's
you know.
okay. I mean, I'd
It's the
rather have a slice
scarcity.
of
It's the
lasagna,
scarcity.
right? I'd rather have a slice of lasagna than maybe caviar. But it's the scarcity. The sturgeon that lives in the deep seas that's 120 years old that has fish eggs, and then it's caught, brought up, extracted, and now it's $100 per ounce. Who cares, right? But it's just like I think back to what you said, Brian, about people being, you know, this sort of what did you use? Decadent?
Oh, decadence?
Decadent. Yeah. I think that whole mirage of being decadent and spending $100 for a can of caviar is, back to the cars and
Do you know
all
what
that.
makes things? You know what things makes things have value?
Yeah.
Do you know what really makes things have value? Marketing.
Oh, yeah.
Sell the
Marketing.
sizzle. You sell the sizzle.
You sell the sizzle. You sell
It's
the
true.
sizzle.
It's true.
I've
Yeah.
got this something that you don't have and nobody else has.
But you don't
That's
even have
all
to
marketing.
sell the thing. You sell the sizzle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Pet
what I'm saying. The
rocks.
sizzle. The
Pet
scarcity.
rocks. Do you
Pet
remember pet
rocks was
rocks?
a huge thing back in the
Stupid
80s.
rock in a box with two eyes glued on it, and they were selling like hotcakes because it was something that was a fad. Brian, this is like past, you had to
No,
be
I
old
got
for
This
you.
is
I
this.
this
got
is
you.
this is where the 80s were idiots.
The
They were
mind virus
idiots.
at its worst.
People wanted a pet
As
rock. Everybody wanted a pet rock. Every kid in the neighborhood wanted a pet rock. It's a rock with eyes
and
glued
you know
on
what?
it.
You know where the value? You know where the value was? Do you know where the value was in that?
Social
Because
clout.
I could have got your. Someone said you want a pet rock. I went outside and picked up a rock. I got a pet rock. The value was in the packaging. Pet rock.
The
Like Brian said,
sizzle.
It was
marketing.
a little
The
box
sizzle.
and it said pet rock. You
The
have a pet
sizzle.
rock now.
Yep.
Dude, I've
Yep.
known this for probably like 2 months now. I don't know what the hell hit it for me, and I've heard this before. But in building probably this thing out and a few other things, it's like you don't sell the thing exactly. You sell the sizzle.
You do.
Because a lot of the stuff that I do is like wisdom based stuff and like insights on this and that. And the more I push it out, the more I feel like people view it as if they're eating vegetables. And people want candy.
Package it differently.
They want the
Interesting.
Kim K's ass
Put
on the
sugar.
screen. They
Put
don't
sugar
want
on
some
a.
life
Put
value.
put sugar on a. Put sugar on a strawberry.
Okay, guys. All right, real quickly, I want to run this past you. You hit on something that has been bugging me big, and I
Let's
need both of
go.
you guys. I need both of you guys to chime in on this one.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
All right.
If you harness our collective brain power, you'll be able to toast some bread.
Well,
Likely.
good. Let's get the
Yes.
bread in the toaster. Ready? Okay. There are people out in the mainstream. I'll give an example. They take a political stance, and then they start espousing their opinions
Mm,
that are uncensored, that
mm,
people take for their own, and they
mm,
run with it. It could be
mm,
factless, no facts.
Mhm.
It could
mhm.
be pure
Mhm.
opinion, but people
Mhm.
run with it.
Mhm.
But guess what they do? They click subscribe and like and subscribe. That's the candy, the candy, the candy, the candy.
Yeah, the sizzle,
And
the
now that
candy.
they're in
Yep.
this, they got to keep the sizzle going. They got to keep the candy going. So then things become more and more and more and more controversial. And people start buying into it to the point to where that's now their mainstream thinking. They're not
Okay.
critical thinking about anything. They just, did you hear so and so said such and such? And then they subscribe to that
It's
and they own it and
sensationalizing.
they parrot it and they parrot it and they parrot it. And guess what? All the
Mhm.
likes
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
subscribes and the candy come back to the originator of that. And it just bugs me because there's something I
Because
was
people
listening
will
to.
sacrifice anything to the altar of status.
The news used to
Well.
be like weather.
Oh
Here,
yeah.
it's going to be 70
Yeah.
degrees.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
going to
Yeah.
rain. It's
Yeah.
going to do
Yeah. Yeah.
this.
Yeah. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
guy got
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
car accident. This lady did
Yeah.
this. That guy did
Right.
this. Now
Right.
it's like
Right.
my opinion about this is what I think
Mhm.
is what I think, what I
Mhm.
think, what I think.
Mhm.
But they're
Mhm.
twisting it to where they've got an audience now, and it's to the point
Mm.
to
You're
where
talking
that
about
audience is
influence. You're
they're
talking about
basing
influence.
influencers, right? But in the wrong sense. That's not good, man. That's not good. And
Oh, I
I'm
agree.
not
I
Listen,
agree wholeheartedly. You're
if you have
taking
a
away people's
question or a
critical
gripe,
thinking,
where are you going?
what's that now? I have a
Hey,
question.
and people are taking away their people are taking away their critical thinking. with their bias is literally stealing their critical thinking.
Well,
It
is
really
this good
blows
is
my
an
mind.
obvious answer, but do you have anything that you're kind of edging
The
at
thing
here?
that I want your opinion on is two questions. One is, do you think news has been replaced now by this type of
Opinion.
information,
Yeah.
opinionated
Yeah.
opinion? It's
If it bleeds, it
information
leads.
disseminated in that fashion. And the second question to you is it a good or bad thing?
It's obviously a bad thing, but if it bleeds, it leads is what you're kind of talking about too.
That's exactly
No,
what I'm talking about.
he's talking
It's
about there's
sensationalizing things. It's also in part with the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Ooh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I didn't know about the moon, but now that I saw a story about the moon, I'm a fucking moon expert. So
the
we think we're so smart. No, we lost John.
there's a term for
Hold on,
the
hold that
news.
thought.
It's called not
Hold
an
that
opinion
thought.
piece. What is it? Johnny's out.
Yeah, he's out. We'll get him back.
Okay, put pause.
So, but you're saying about the news thing, right? Like, so it used to be fact driven, back when journalism was real, right? Back when
Yes,
journalism
that was back in the 70s. Different.
Well, I got some stuff.
Editorial.
So in the editorial, isn't the editorial the same as the op-ed? Is ed
Yeah,
and op-ed editorial?
Mm-hmm. So it's an editorial written and published experience of previous topics.
Because they used to deliver the facts up front. This is what's on the ground. These are the facts.
Journalism.
Like these are the facts.
Opinion-based journalism.
Op-ed, opinion editorial
journalism.
kind of thing. That's what they call it.
I was looking for the op-ed is opinion-based journalism.
Opinion-based editorial.
Social science, liberal tech, opinion-based journalism.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what I was trying to illustrate. It's opinion-based. It's not rooted in fact. And you don't. I think you're probably too young. Dude, the news was fucking great.
Well, I think I know where this all went wrong. Actually, I'm kind of waiting for John to get back in here to kind of spill the beans, but
we got to get John in here to spill beans.
And it's a guy. It's a guy I think both of you respect. So it's gonna hit home. If I was to guess.
Carrie? No. Oh God, I think I know what you're talking about.
Dude, this is not the episode I thought we were having today, but it is fun.
Yeah, I know. We had Jordan Peterson queued up.
Yeah, right. That is the last thing on my mind. I had real problems on my mind.
Oh, Jordan Peterson, those two, the one you sent and the one I sent back to you, that's an episode in itself.
I said it to the guy the other day. I was like, I need a little Raji. I need a little fucking Indian dude just following me around, ready to record things. I feel like Socrates. You know how Socrates didn't write nothing, but he had all these people scribe his words and stuff.
Who is it? Marcus Aurelius had a slave that
yes. I got a clip I can pull up right now about this. It's so awesome.
And he said, you're just human.
You're just a man.
That's all he had. You're just a man.
You're just a man.
You're just a man.
You're just a man. To the most powerful man on the planet.
He had to be reminded.
Humility.
That shows you how flawed we are.
Humility, dude, is unreal.
Oh, you wanted to hear something funny?
That's the old Jocko line, you know. It's a humility trumps all. And he's right.
And he is the king of that. He is the king of that.
Yeah, I see a lot of people trying to shit on him now that Tim Kennedy came out with his shit. You see all that?
No.
Tim Kennedy came out. I guess he didn't get some bronze star that he had been saying that he got forever. And oh man, dude, Tim Kennedy.
Focusing on the negative.
Tim Kennedy's falling on his own sword right now.
No, that's what happens when your intentions are unpure. You're gonna fall on a sword.
Yeah, but because the guy was like, the soft era of influencers is over. A soft as in special operators, you know. And they put Jocko in the picture. I'm like, don't fucking put Jocko in the picture with these motherfuckers, dude. He's just built different. Mm-hmm. He is built different. He is what you hope, what everybody hopes they could be one day, and that is undeniable. And they say, what do? Oh, I'm a builder. Well, be so good that you're undeniable. They can't refuse you. They can't look away from you. They can't ignore you. That is him.
Mm-hmm.
To the fucking T, dude. I told a friend of mine before, I'm like, dude, hopefully I get to meet him one day. But I'm just gonna tell him straight up. I'm like, look, in my tribe, they make statues out of guys like you.
I like that.
Yes, dude. Yes,
like that.
this is what we're going for right here.
That's a high goal to shoot for.
This is the standard. Thank you.
They're gonna make you. They're gonna put you on Mount Rushmore.
Dude, telling you, man.
All right, shoot. Let's get.
All right, so we lost John. Here's what it is. He's having internet issues or whatever. But so he's asking, like, where the hell are we headed with the way the media is? Where the hell are we headed with how much people soak up some bullshit and they just run with it?
Well, we called it editorial journalism.
Well, it's op-ed stuff, right? So it's opinion-based journalism, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
But
oh, he said, "Is that good?"
Obviously not, right?
Well, people subscribe to other people's opinions and becomes their bias. If you know how many decisions you make on your bias, you'd be surprised.
Not only to include your subconscious, and they say makes like what 70% of your decisions throughout the day. Now I said this before on X and stuff. It's like if you only knew how influenced you were by everything that you come into contact with, people would lose their minds.
If you let it.
Well, no, it's influence. No, you're saying if you let it control you, that's one thing, but it's gonna influence you regardless.
So here's my point. An op-ed, an opinion-based editorial, you can listen to it and not let it affect you, or you can listen to it and let it get into your soul.
Yeah, it's gonna influence you either way. That's the thing I'm saying.
No, it cannot. That's my point.
It's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's inevitable.
Because I hear
now whether you use this information to help you make a decision or not is a completely different question. But for you to take the thing in, you have to bounce that in your head with reason, logic, or you just take it in with bias, whatever. But you're bouncing it around.
Right, you're bouncing around, but I'm trying to say you can. Here's the part where people just say that it'll affect you, and I keep saying only if you let it. Yeah. Only things can affect you if you let it.
I disagree. So I think everything affects you. You just control the end outcome.
Listen, going in, bouncing around, completely leaving. It doesn't affect you.
Negative.
That's where we disagree.
I'd say negative because you have to make a choice. You have to make a choice for it to not affect you.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I'll give you the option of choice. But if
the influence is always.
If you choose not to affect you, then it still leaves and doesn't affect you.
But I think the influence is inevitable.
No, I don't think it is.
It's the same way that like a paradigm shift, right? Something you may not even agree with, but then you realize the world is that way. No matter if you agree with it or not, you can't let it go.
But that's nothing to do. That's not to do with an idea bouncing around your head and leaving, and it's gone.
But is it ever gone?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I forget shit all the time. I'm old.
But just because I heard turtles can fly 3 months ago, that thought is going to linger, even if I know it's not true.
It doesn't affect you. That's my point. See, people think things have to affect you, and they don't. That thought, turtles can fly, is not true, and it will never affect you.
It's going to affect you, though, because you're going to laugh.
How?
Because you're going to laugh.
I didn't laugh.
But if you laughed and you registered it, then it affected you.
Then you let it affect you. That's my point. If you laugh, you let it affect you.
I think we're just talking past each other in a way. I'm saying that just by you taking it in, it's influencing your world in some way. And you're saying that it only influences your world in some way if it kind of helps you interpret
if you
things from
let it
here on out.
if you let it affect you. There's this one
We'll
guy,
define.
you know.
Okay, we'll define effect in this way.
Oh,
Effect in
that's a
what
good
way?
point. There you go. Affected would be changing a decision
Decision.
or changing a decision, making you go on a different path.
Right.
That would affect you. But if
Well,
it doesn't
I would.
affect you, it doesn't change you. It doesn't change your opinion.
I think
Turtles fly. You heard that turtles fly doesn't affect me at all.
I think that influence is pre-decision.
Ooh, that's interesting. That is interesting.
Because then it still affects you. Like I said before, I think that you're looking at outcome based more than anything, but I think influences your
How
thoughts
else
too,
would you
not just your
determine?
decisions.
How would you also determine effect? Is outcome based.
I agree with you in a way that that's kind of the effect is the end result, right? But when I say influence, I'm saying sway. So when I say sway, I don't mean outcome.
Sway is an outcome.
Sway is input.
You're going this direction.
Input.
You're swayed into this direction. You're going this
sway,
direction.
Sway is input. You put the numbers into the calculator. It doesn't sway the outcome of the thing.
Yeah, it does. Every number into a number affects it. Positive or negative.
I guess that's a bad analogy, but it's like because everything
now
you
you're talking
hear,
binary code.
I'll tell you where I'm at, like everything I hear, I'm like 50-50. This is bullshit or it's true. I don't know what it is because I'm not smart enough on the topic yet. Maybe I'll research it further and I'll find out. Some people just take it at face value and it is what it is. But some way, the information you take in, water's got plastic in it. And be like, I might or may not. I don't know. But I'm going to look into it and then I'll see what's up from there.
But it affected you by your looking into it. The turtles that fly aren't going to affect me.
But I haven't made a decision based on the information. You've made a
decision to look into it. You made a decision to look into it.
Yeah. But this is all influence. I'm telling you.
You're saying that. Here's where I think that I think we've come to the conclusion. I'm saying it has the option of not affecting you if you don't let it. Never think of it again. Not happening. It's rare, right? I'll give you that it's rare that something that's important could never affect you again. But you'd have to consciously consider that and not let it. Most things, would you say most things affect you? Because, I think, like you said, I'm going to consciously look into it.
I think things that you're curious about or concern you affects you in the end.
Because you're gonna act on it. You gotta act on it.
I think that everything you take in with your sensory input affects you.
Yeah, that's where we have
influences you. Sorry,
we have clarity with the
influences you.
You're saying everything. I'm saying possibly some things.
Well, you're going off of infect, and I'm going off of influence. I think
that's what we're talking about. It has to affect you. It has to change course of something. And you said, I'm going to look, I don't know about it, but I'm going to look into it. It changed your effect of looking into it.
Well, that's when it affects you. That's when it affects you, is when you make a decision based on it. And
when it doesn't affect you, is there a thing that went into your head that never affected you?
Probably not. I don't think so.
That's the part where we disagree.
If somebody tells me some bullshit, that affected me because now I know you're a bullshitter.
That's a good point. True.
So everything has its influence on you. The weather's been funny lately. That's going to influence my thinking about the weather lately, or whatever. All of our sensory input is designed for everything to influence us. Honestly,
a sensory, yes, by design. So
because it's like a feedback. It's like a feedback loop, right?
So are you saying there's a creator?
I'm saying there's a feedback. There he is. I'm saying there's a feedback loop, though. There's a feedback loop, so I do think that everything affects you.
John, we needed you on this one, so we just had the debate. Let's first off, let's finish John's thought.
We'll track back. We'll track back.
Thank you.
We'll track back to. Then we'll go back to what we were talking. We just got in this heated debate on does everything affect you. So, but let's go back to
influence.
Influence. So, you were made mention that
Is
we're
news
gonna
garbage
call.
and should people stop listening?
We figured out the term during the break. There's two terms. There's op-ed, which means opinion-based
Editorial.
editorials, or what was the other term?
It's information. Actual information was the other one.
No, there's editorial. So an editorial-based.
Well, there's data, and then there's an op-ed, right? There's two.
Right. So your question was the opinion-based or op-ed news is that prevalent? Absolutely. I haven't heard news in 10, 15 years. The news that me and John are that John and to you saying that reminded me of there was a car accident on Mack Avenue in Buick. There was someone got shot. It didn't say after the person got shot. They didn't say anything else. A robbery happened. This person got shot on this block. Next, it was just factual based
Data.
Just data.
This is what happened. Here it is.
Okay, what was the change? Where was the disturbance in the forest? When was the fucking Sith born?
Walter Cronkite.
No, he was the golden child of the regular news. It was the Joe Rogans and the Dan Banginos and the Tucker Carlsons.
I told you it was going to be somebody you guys love.
And all the CNN even, MSNBC even. See, I'm balancing it. They all do it. No, they all do it. They all do it.
But it's all stems from Cronkite.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I think Joe Rogan. I think Joe Rogan looks for the truth and gives his opinion.
He's opinionated. Are you kidding? He's opinionated.
I think maybe
he's
up
pretty,
till
he's
recently.
pretty fair, but everybody has a
No,
want
he's
to
not.
believe something.
He's got his own opinion.
Yeah, he
Now,
does.
I'll give him credit. He does ask good questions, but he always interjects his thoughts. But he's not an expert in it. But it's like, he'll say, he'll get something in his head, and he'll say, it's this. It's this. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, in his world it is. But he was what I love about Joe Rogan, he was a liberal Democrat up till about 5 years ago. Now he's
still is.
So he sees he sees both sides. Is what I'm trying to say.
He picked up a bow and moved to Texas. He still is.
he's leaning more conservative now, or maybe and what he says scale liberal Republican, right? We'll go these routes. He was in the middle, more towards.
Was the left moved?
What happened? Yeah, the whole paradigm shift to him being into the Republican Party. I mean, like when he backed Trump, which he's never backed anybody, and the reason he's never backed anybody up till recently was because he knew he could sway an election with his following. And it was weird that he never backed Democrats, but now he's back. It's crazy. Like the paradigm shift has went so much in one direction.
Everything's gone left.
But let's see the trees through the forest, gentlemen. That's the forest, right? The trees, the granular detail is that the predominance of news is op-ed, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
I don't either.
But you know what?
Agree.
There's a company.
I'll try to trace the source of this for you.
Not Walter Cronkite. How so?
I was thinking Rush Limbaugh.
Oh, the Rush Limbaugh is a better example.
This is even older. So the story goes, because Walter Cronkite was loved by everybody and he did a lot of good reporting.
Yes, he did.
But if you reel the tape back, you will find in his reporting of like Vietnam and stuff, he was probably the first guy to give you the facts and then give you what he thought about the facts. Whether you thought he was right or whether you thought he was wrong, he still did the thing. So people coming behind him thought it was their obligation to also do that thing.
Yeah, you're probably right, Brian, on that one. Yeah. I never really thought of it that way, but yeah, I see
I know.
Well, like Phil Donahue and all these other Jerry Springer and all these guys created this like sensationalistic popularization of getting everybody riled up about something, right? And I think that also contributed to why news is dealt the way it is too. Because if you
Yeah, but could you
remember,
consider Jerry
Well,
Springer news?
they focus
but
on what
people,
That's
sells.
entertainment.
no, I know,
They,
but I'm
well,
saying
they
that
focus on what sells, though. That's what he's saying.
right, and then they use that type of
If it bleeds, it leads.
That's
exactly.
see that. So here is the problem, and
They
I've said this several
sensationalize the
times.
stuff, and so it'll sell. You know.
So here's truly the problem. This is going to hurt. What's the true problem? It's us, the
Yep,
consumers.
Mike, you're oh my gosh, that's the answer.
Well, it's
That is
always a
the answer.
people problem. It's always the
That's the
same
answer.
shit.
That's why we
Because
have the
they
sad.
they
It's not the
feed us.
tool. You know what it is? It's the same thing all over again. You can't blame the tool. The tool is just the media. The tool is just the news. The tool is just the gun. You can't blame the fucking gun. If they
No, you
had
can.
nobody lining up to buy their thing or view their thing would be dead.
But here's the thing. Think of diet. Okay. Think of diet. Like in America, McDonald's and Taco Bell
Mhm,
and blah, blah. Is any of
mhm.
that shit good for you?
No,
Really?
Absolutely not.
By
they're
design.
realizing how bad it actually is now.
But look how many people go there
Well, it's
and
getting worse
consume that.
too.
And I do too. I'm guilty.
Yeah,
I'll
I do it
consume
too.
that stuff
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
Right?
but you counteract it by working out immensely. So, but
Do you though?
here's my point. And let me verbalize this
Forever chemicals
in
are real.
gun control. And I think we all have guns. I think we're pro safe gun ownership. Um, the guns don't kill people, and people say guns kill people. Then a fork makes me fat, and the pencil made me fail the test.
Well, this is the whole UK Europe thing, you know. They ban the guns because they see us over here with gun problems, and they're like, "Oh, guns must be
We
the
do have
problem.
gun
Let's
problems.
ban guns." And now London is leading the world in knife crime. So then you ban what? Knives? Then you ban what? Forks and screwdrivers and every fucking thing else. It's not the
Or
tool;
in
it's a
Japan, you
people
could ban
problem.
fighting.
It's a people problem, but people don't want
It
to
is.
admit
It
there's
is.
a fucking people problem because then they would have to address the people problem, and nobody wants to do that.
I mean, you
Yeah.
have to address it. You know what? I heard this
No, they just keep
crazy
the can
stat.
down the road. That's what they do.
Here's a crazy stat for you. This blew my mind, and nobody's debating it. You know all the school shootings? All the school shootings? All of the people doing the shootings were on psychotropic medication prescribed by
SSRIs and
doctors,
stuff.
and the side effects are homicidal tendencies. So, do we have a gun problem, or do
But
we have a
why are
mental
they on
illness?
those? But why are they on those to begin with?
Well, do we have a gun problem, or do we have a mental illness problem in the
We
United
have
That's
a
States?
people problem. That's the only problem we have.
Mental illness. I did a podcast for and I had this fire chief on, and he's starting a company that's helping out people that have PTSD in the services. Police
Uh-huh.
officers, fire, first responders. And
That's
he goes,
noble.
he said he's not a police chief, he's a district police chief, not police fire chief. And he was telling me that this is a huge problem with first responders. And these guys I feel they're basically heroes for a living, and they should get as much treatment, as much help as they can get. And he's starting that off. But that's a crazy stat. He's saying that in his, I don't know if it's district or house, I think district, there was 3 suicides in the last 8 months, within a year.
Hmm.
So do we have a mental illness issue, or do we have a gun problem, or do we have a PTSD problem, or do we have a? And here's another crazy stat. I think I want to say a large number of women in the United States are on not psychotropic, but prescribed by doctors.
Fucking crazy.
I think it's like up to 30%. 30% are prescribed medication. I thought that was an insane number. You know why? Because the other 70% need to be on it too.
Oh, oh,
That hurt. I was waiting to
oh.
say that one. Come on, that was a good one.
Ouch.
Give me an A for it. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Give it a golf clap.
Yeah, real club clap.
Speaking of the golf clap, you get ready to hear there's Happy Gilmore 2 coming out on Netflix.
Who
What?
cares? It's gonna suck.
Happy
Who
Gilmore
cares?
2. Oh, come on. That was great.
Comedy has been dead for 15 years.
What are you talking about? Comedy's alive and well. Come on, you got Bill Burr.
Movies, you're talking.
Didn't Burt Kreischer just do a movie?
That doesn't mean it was funny.
The Machine? You just laugh.
The same story he's told his whole career. The reason he has a career, maybe.
It is a good career because of that. That is a great one, though.
Come on, now he's beating that dead horse, man.
Brian had his shirt off earlier, so I think he's trying to channel his inner.
Dude, I was watching some Gunny Hartman, man. I was all fired up, boy.
So, what do you want to?
5'9". I didn't know they stacked shit that high.
Now, you want to talk? You want to talk to John about what we talked about off air? What were we talking about when John was gone?
We were getting into influence effect, right?
Yeah.
So we were getting to the point of the news thing, and obviously this is not a good direction, and obviously this sucks, but we got to deal with what we got, right? So
we'll get back to that, see how we can fix that problem. But like
he's of the mind that the things you take in affect you if you let them, and so I'm of the mind that everything you take in influences you in some way.
Okay. Do you guys remember? Here's a funny example: Three Stooges.
Right.
Oh God, yeah.
They were trying to make them into gentlemen, and they said they're either culturally disposed to become gentlemen, or you can teach them. In other words, you're either
nature or nurture.
Nature or nurture, right?
Uh-huh.
So I think you're both right, right? It's one of those sort of dichotomy aspect. It has two sources.
I don't know. I'm saying that everything you take in influences you in some way, and he's saying that nothing affects you unless you let it. But we're kind of talking from a pre and a post here, because I'm saying when you take it in, it influences you. He's saying that when the post of you making a decision based on it is an effect from it, that is your choice, which I kind of agree to that. But I'm kind of trying to get him to see that the influence is inevitable.
He's saying that everything affects you. And
no,
I'm saying
I said everything influences you.
Everything influences.
Well, affect you defined as we went through. Affect is a decision based on the information, and influence is a swaying of mind based on incoming information.
Sway is moving in a different direction. You're swaying. You're not.
But it might not affect you.
But you might be just swayed a little bit in the course.
But you could make no decision. You could make no decision and still be influenced.
That's it. That's what I was going to say. Or you could be influenced opposite. Like everybody makes a big deal out of something that only 0.00001% it affects the entire population. Some people are like, "Oh my God, I don't want this." Fill in the blank. And I'm going, I don't know of anybody within 100 square mile radius that is even part of that 0.0001%. I don't really
where did you get this from?
Right. So it's kind of like you said, you're influenced either way, right? That's a good point. But then Michael, I think it's funny. It's like a membrane, right? What gets allowed to go through. That's where it gets interesting.
I think it's a pre and post. I think I'm saying that pre, as far as taking information in, is inevitable. It's going to affect your mind. Like, is this true or not? I don't know. That's what I was telling him. Every piece of information I take in anymore, I'm like 50-50. This could be bullshit or this could be the truth. I don't know. But if I want to go further and let it affect me, as he says, I make a decision to look into it, then you've let it affect you because you've made a decision based on it. But I'm telling you that everything affects your influence, and influence is the fucking holy grail of all this stuff.
I don't disagree with that, but what I'm saying is, I really people with your mindset, I feel that it limits your ability to control your outcome.
Your mindset does?
So I can, with your mindset on it affects you. If you say it affects you,
Influences.
I'm gonna say you're right because it affects you.
Influences.
Influence you. Okay. So I can let something go in my ear, bounce it around. The analogy we use is I heard last week the turtles fly. I can let it bounce around and bounce completely out and pour out of my head and never think of it again. It neither affects me or influences me.
It definitely influenced you because it bounced around.
How does it influence me if it bounces
Because you
around?
had to
If I
think
hear
about it for a second. And be like, is there something I'm missing? What the fuck's going on? That's influence. Any doubt in your being will cause influence as well. Influence is just that holy grail. It's like you see a crazy car crash, it influences you. It might not affect you, but
no, then it affects you. It affects you. Then you get into the PTSD. It affects you in a certain way. See, I guess the determination is influence and effect. So what is your definition of influence you? So me, it's effect. Influence is effect.
Sway. No, influence to me is not effect.
Sway, it moves. I can say that the turtles. I heard turtles fly last week.
Like I said, everything I take in is 50%. It could be bullshit, or 50% it could be true. I don't know about the thing yet, so I don't know. I have to weigh that. I have to weigh that now. And doing the weighing, saying if this is one or another is influence before you've even acted. Like I was telling Michael,
John,
all of your sensory input is designed to take in things for influence, in a way.
So the determination is between influence and effect, and I'm saying that influence is effect.
Ooh,
you like that?
Well, we based the effect on, as you said, is a decision based from it. But things can
any change influence, like you were, you had a very good point a second ago when you said you had to think about it. That is change. I had to think about it.
I don't want to say having to think about it is effect, though.
That's really truly the question we have here.
Yeah, I think we're talking about pre and post.
Is thinking about it affecting you? is thinking about it affecting you? Does it change it out because you had to think about it?
Well, is thinking about it affecting you? Thinking about it is at minimum influencing you.
That's where I disagree. Influence, you have to let things. I feel that with a mindset, you can let things influence you or not.
Yes, you can control. Mindset. You can control whether it influences you.
And then emotionally, sometimes you can't. Right? Something just stirs you up. Someone's hitting your kid. I'm going to get affected and influenced. I'm gonna do something. That's 100%. It's gonna change the outcome of that situation.
Okay, turtles fly. It doesn't change my thought that I know turtles don't fly, but it influences me to know that you say bullshit now. So even not on one level,
does that influence you? Does that affect you?
Multi-levels, you could have influence from one statement, even if you know the statement's bullshit. Now you know that person's a bullshitter, and their influence has changed in this regard.
What's the definition of influence?
Ah, man, let's look it up.
What's the definition of influence?
As a noun, influence means the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior.
Effect. Have an effect.
Effect, not affect.
What's the difference between effect and affect?
Yeah, I know. Now we're getting in there.
God, we're splitting hairs.
Let's go. Affect versus effect are frequently confused words, but understanding their core meanings and common usage can help clarify their differences. Affect is generally a verb meaning to influence or have an impact on something. Effect, typically a noun referring to the result or consequence of something. While
before.
effect can also be a verb, it's less common and means to cause something to happen. So you're thinking more of effect, the verb of the action, and affect kind of means influence. So I guess that's really the discrepancy here, isn't it? The discrepancy here really is affect versus effect.
So effect is the action afterwards, like it's going to affect you.
Right. Cause something to happen.
So I can say that I can let thoughts go in my head and not let it effect.
But it's gonna affect you. What a weird thing.
Wow. You're gonna have to make a short on this one, buddy.
That's kind of the discrepancy here, right? Is because everything affects you, but you choose what affects you. Because sensory input, you can't deny sensory input. So even if you hear some bullshit, you're gonna hear it and you're gonna put it through your rigor of whatever, and then you're gonna dismiss it. And then it didn't cause you an effect, but it did affect you. What a fucking weird. Fuck the English language sometimes. I tell you what.
Oh, the English language is so screwed up. It's insane.
It's fucked up sometimes, man.
Well,
change one letter, you change the whole damn thing.
This is a good part. You know what the real problem is? Is the lack of
people.
If we're splitting hairs on effect and affect, then we should have more words for words that, like, here's one of the greatest ones. There's love. Love in other languages have 4 to 5 different terminologies. The love of your child is different than the love of your mother and father. The love of your mother and father is different than your brother and sister. Love of your brother and sister is different than love for yourself. Love for yourself is different than love for your friends.
Yep. The podcast
love of your house, love of your thing is different loves, but we all call it love.
I did a podcast with a guy a few episodes ago, and he dove on that. There's in Rome times, there's 7 different definitions for love.
The Greeks have 4 different definitions.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Agape. Yeah. What are the agape?
Yeah, agape. I know. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, the love of God. And unconditional love. And love, we say love, and I'm trying to explain to my son unconditional love. My son does not understand unconditional love. He cannot understand it now. But as soon as his son's born, he'll understand unconditional love. That's the second everybody really understands that this being that came into the life you'll die for, but this being has done nothing to earn it.
Well, only women and children are unconditionally loved, so.
Yeah, men are men. Do you
agree with that, John? Loved.
Yeah, we're loved conditionally.
Yep.
That was Chris Rock. Do you believe it?
What's the debate?
Well, you could say that men are unconditionally loved too.
Negative.
Well, who's loving you?
I don't think anybody thinks that. Other than your mother, I don't think anybody thinks that.
So if your parents are still going to love you unconditionally no matter how old you are.
Your father will not love you unconditionally.
Your wife and kids will probably conditionally love you. But
everybody besides your mother will everybody besides your mother will conditionally love you.
That's not entirely true, but that's for the most part.
Shoot, let's shoot with that. Yeah, please, John, please, opinion.
There was a woman recently that walked out in the Lake Michigan with her infant and drowned the child. Recently. Is that unconditional love?
Why did she do it?
Mental illness.
Did God tell her to?
So it goes all the way back. No, she just took it upon herself to do it, and they don't know why, other than it's a mental illness issue.
The exception to the rule doesn't disprove the rule either.
No, but it also has to be accounted for. If we're going to generalize, you have to take into account a lot of things.
You have to take into account mental illness?
Well,
because then you're literally talking about every extreme that's ever existed.
Ooh, that's another good point. John's got a point, and you got another point. Jesus Christ, this 3-point system is really hurting my brain.
I know. It's getting out of
It
hand.
was
The
better when it's
painting
just me and him. I
podcast.
could just argue and then we just win and move on. But then you come into things and it's like, fuck.
It's like the more fuzzy Brian's camera gets, the more obscure his thoughts become. His
The more
thoughts become
chaos,
more
the more
abstract in nature,
chaos.
just like his
Yeah,
video.
meta thoughts.
Oh,
But,
dude,
it's getting sharp again. He's gonna get some definitive
I
answers
didn't
now.
do
there you go.
anything. I don't know what's up with this
Exactly,
camera, man.
because you're thinking more definitively.
Oh,
It's
I'm
based on
clear
your
again. I'm
thoughts.
clear. I'm clear.
I love
I
it.
heard something recently. I want to see if you guys.
I got
You said
about
abstract.
5 minutes, guys. I'll just give you a heads up. I got about 5
Right.
minutes.
We'll leave with this one. Abstract. People that can't understand an abstract concept. Majority of Asians are small. Generally, I heard this term. Generally, have a lower IQ. Stay away from them because they'll debate everything. Not all Asians are small. Blah, blah, blah. They can't understand an abstract concept. Do you
Well,
believe that to be true? And should you not engage with them?
bitchy little man syndrome is true.
Uh-oh, his camera's not fuzzy either when he said that, Mike.
Yeah, right. But would
So,
you
I'll give
engage?
you a
Would you
fun
engage
one.
with somebody? Should you not engage with somebody
I'll
because
give you a fun
they
one
can't
on
understand
this.
abstract the concept?
There's an old Mark Twain line on this one. He says, all generalizations are false, including this one.
He's calling BS where BS needs to be called, I take it.
Well, no, he's saying that all generalizations are false, including this generalization.
Correct. No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Like Yoga Bear.
should you be able to? Should you talk to people? Like if I realize somebody can't understand an abstract concept and they're generally a lower IQ, should I still have this conversation? Does that make
Don't
sense?
cast your pearls before swine.
Don't cast your pearls before swine.
This is something I've
Hey,
struggled
are you
with.
quoting the Bible, Brian? What's going on here?
Yeah.
He's quoting the Bible.
I have
He
to
knows there's
sometimes.
wisdom
He's making us
in there.
look bad over here.
Well,
he knows there's wisdom in there. He can't.
it's
deny
not about the
He
wisdom.
knows.
It's not
He
about the
knows.
wisdom.
He's
You just quoted some of the
Wisdom is
wisdom.
timeless.
yeah. Well, no, it's not.
No?
No, it's not. No.
Some of
Well,
it
the
is.
things that we think
No.
we are wise for pondering have already been thought a
No.
million lifetimes over.
The wise people thought the earth was flat. The wise people thought the earth was the center of
No.
the universe. The wise
The
people.
arrogant,
Oh, yeah.
the arrogant people thought the world was flat.
Let's
No,
talk about
no,
the Bible, though. The Bible never said the earth was flat. The Bible said, so here's something that a psychologist said this one time, and it kind of just baked my noodle. There's a verse in the Bible that says, if you pray for someone that's your enemy, it's like heaping hot coals on their forehead. And he said, if you could pray for people, and this one psychologist said, if you could pray for the people that are harming you or trying to do ill will and do that stuff, there would be no psychology. There would be no need for psychology. If you could pray for someone that's trying to do you ill will,
like that
there would be
whole
no need for psychology.
I don't like that
Brian,
whole
about
notion at all.
Brian, you're succumbing to the idea that you're willing to get the person that's living in your head in that situation out. How does that not equate?
Well, I think this goes back to hate.
John, that was fucking good.
I'm just saying.
I want to nudge John and say that was a good one.
No, because
I
I'm
think
curious.
it comes back to hate. I think they're trying to get hate out of you.
Who's trying to get hate out of you?
Whoever said that.
I forgot who said it.
Can you perform at your best hating? Or
well, I agree that you
clear
shouldn't
thinking?
hate.
Remember we talked about the sword? You don't cut somebody down with hate and malice. You cut them down with precision and clear thought. The clearer your mind, the deeper to cut. That's how basically.
I agree that you shouldn't hate. I disagree that you should throw the baby out with the bathwater in the sense of letting them off the hook.
Well, you don't have to. So don't confuse forgiveness with retribution. So not retribution, recompense. So recompense is deservable punishment.
Recompense?
So recompense is deservable punishment. So like if someone does something wrong, someone hurts, I don't want to go with family members. You got a good friend of yours and someone beats them up, right? You can forgive that person, but truly the forgiveness is for you, not them.
Right.
Forgiveness is like anger is like eating a poison apple expecting the other person to die.
There's another Twain line that says anger is a poison which ruins the vessel that harbors it more than anything else.
Yeah, and you're eating the poison apple expecting the other person to die. Now, recompense is the person should go to jail because he maliciously hurt somebody for no reason. Does that make sense?
Well, I figured out this hate thing, by the way, like a fucking year or two ago. I actually figured out the hate thing. I didn't understand why, because like they push love clearly, okay, push the fuck out of love, but why the hard push against hate? And I learned through a lot of resources that hate is a form of attachment, just like love.
Mm-hmm.
You
But
know
yeah,
what? Can I say something real quick about that?
Yep.
It seems like, and maybe you guys know this too, I got two quick things to say. One is the Bible talks about hate. It's like taking off your shoe and kicking a bush full of thorns. It's called kicking the pricks. I know it sounds stupid, but basically that's the kind of the action of kicking a thorn bush with your shoe off. That's hate. The other thing is, you ever notice that if you invest yourself into a loving relationship with someone, when I say love, and then something goes horribly wrong, it goes to the absolute extreme. It's like you absolutely hate
Extremes.
them,
Yeah.
like divorce and things of that nature. And even friendships, you invest in a deep friendship, and that person burns you to the point to where now you curse them basically. Have you ever fell into that at all, or
Well, this is
does
what I
that
said
concept?
about the attachment, right? Because love is an attachment form, just like hate is an attachment form. That's why they say you'll become like that which you hate, is because it's a form of attachment. And so if you can change, I think this is the difference, I think in my head, at least, if you could change the hate to dislike, I think you're just so much better off. Because you can dislike a lot of things, but to drive it to hate you is to steer you up in that emotional sense.
Oh, Brian, nice.
let it affect you.
Right.
Oh, here we go. Man, I'm learning. I need my pen and paper.
But
I need my
this
pen and
hate thing
paper.
is a form of attachment, is why it fucks you up.
That's a good
And
point.
that's why they really preach against it. Dude, this took me a while to chew on this because I was like, fuck
No,
that
that's
guy. He
good.
needs to burn in hell. But after a
He needs
while,
to
it's like,
burn in hell.
you,
I'm
you,
gonna
you,
pray
you
that
become
he
like
visits
that which
hell.
you hate, is what they've always said, right? And I'm like, well, why? If you hate it, would you become like it? And it's because it's a form of attachment. Because those are very strong emotions that you feel for the thing.
There's
I you know what
health reasons
I
behind that too.
Yeah, no shit. The kicking the pricks. It hurts
Yeah.
yourself more than anything.
Amen. Amen.
I've
But that's why I
I've
said in that one thing that hate is a thing that injures or damages the vessel that carries it more than anything. It's the
Yeah,
same thing
that's
as the
true.
pricks.
It's true.
I've seen
Self-inflicted.
I've seen, how they say generational curses. I've seen
Hmm.
that play out in a generational curse. I know this one guy that hated his father. He didn't like his father. Hated his father at certain points of his life. He just told me all the negative about his dad and blah 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 and how he was raised and blah blah blah. And I thought his dad was pretty cool. And then later on in life, his kids hated him because all he talked about with his kids was how much he hated his dad.
He put the
And his
seed in
kids,
there.
yeah, his kids learn
He planted
like a
his own
generation. They call it like a
demising seed.
generational curse.
Oof.
Isn't
Oh,
that crazy?
that
Not
hurts.
really. Once you understand that it's in a form of attachment.
Yeah, but it's an attachment that can go on generational. That's the crazy part.
Wow, generational trauma is real. That is real.
That is
Yeah.
crazy though. It just blows my mind.
This
And an
comes back to what
overcomer,
I've told both of you already once before. Is there a bigger I can't remember the word I use right now, but is there a bigger cause in life than to break some curses? So than to break
Mm,
some cycles. That's the way I said it.
yeah.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
break some generational
I
curses.
don't know that
Then you'd
there
be
is. I really
considered
don't know that there is.
you'd be considered an overcomer.
Hmm?
You'd be considered an overcomer. Someone that overcame a generational
Yeah,
curse.
you can break the cycle of generational poverty. You can break the cycle of generational mental illness. You know, these things are huge as far as like going forward. You know,
You'd
so I
be
say
then you. I feel you'd be defined as an overcomer. You overcame a negative situation.
absolutely. But the sad part about it is like even with this extreme pendulum that we always talk about with the right and the left, or just how humans make decisions, we always make decisions fucking so far in the opposite direction. If you were to ever stop the pendulum, one move of malice could kick it all back into gear again.
Yeah, could be.
That's a
Yeah,
good point. You know,
yeah,
John
you're
John
right.
helped me out with that a little while ago. He
That's so
really
sad
did.
though, because you imagine the Herculean effort that motherfucker took to get it to stop finally. He fucking resolved the piece, the Jesus thing, essentially. He tried to stop the pendulum, and maybe he did for like 20, 50 years. I don't know. But then somebody got mad and killed somebody's kid, and then it started all over again.
Yeah.
You're not far off.
Ugh.
You're
Well, we'll
not
leave
far
off with
off. You're
this
not wrong.
because in this realm of conflict, I'll tell you, and I'm just going to leave on it because we don't have a lot of time, but I view every conflict of humans through the lens of the Hatfields and McCoys.
Have you ever heard the term center yourself?
Yeah, there you go.
And that's a good thing. That's what
It
I'm
is
leaving with.
great.
Hey,
Michael, what's
John.
your final thought, brother? Yes.
My final thought is a question to another professional artist.
Hmm.
I've said this before. Peace, true peace, is a weapon.
It's the ultimate weapon.
Oof.
I think you're meaning
You just
clarity.
changed my concept, huh?
I think you
Well,
mean I
peace
think
is
you meaning
Peace
clarity.
is peace is clarity. That's what we're trying to say.
Well, I say that
So
because I used to say that all men want in the end of life is peace, but it's wrong.
I think all men are seeking two things: peace and love.
I think that men are seeking voluntary chaos.
I disagree.
No, you're not. You breaking some bitch. What are you talking about?
So,
You just
John,
don't
when you
want chaos more than you can handle or more than you want at the moment. But once you're settled, you want to go back out and get some chaos.
There's a martial artist named Miyamoto Musashi. He killed.
Musashi!
He was the greatest swordsman in Japanese swordsman. He killed
Yes,
and killed and
sir.
killed. Do you know how he ended his life? He
In
went
his
up into the
cave that I tried to
mountains.
get Mike to go visit.
He he disconnected himself completely from society. He wrote a book called The Five Rings.
Yep.
He meditated. He chilled. All he wanted was peace at the end of his life
Well,
because
he
he
knew
had
he
all
was
that
dying
turmoil.
before he went out there, but yeah.
Probably, but the point is, it's like the pendulum again, right? Extreme here. Now we're back over here. Let's go
the
peaceful.
part that I'm going to leave with, what John really helped me with, is a few months ago, maybe in a year ago, I was like, this, the woke is going this direction, and this is getting out of hand, and John just sort of sat there, real calm, cool, and collected, and goes, "My sociology teacher taught me in the past, when it swings this way,
It's
it
coming back.
comes back this way, and then when
People
it
always
swings this way,
overcorrect
and then it always comes back this way."
because people
When
get
I was like,
emotional and they want to do the extreme opposite, right?
Look at history. Look at history.
There are
and
I got
right
a
after
whole
you
bunch I
said
could
that,
run
John,
on
the
this.
pendulum started swinging the other way, and I was like, "Damn, he's smart."
We got some good stuff
All
to
that.
talk about next time, huh, gentlemen?
Yes,
Let's do
sir.
it. We still even talk about Jordan Peterson that we sent in our text.
I
All right,
wasn't even
let's.
planning on talking about that. I had a whole different direction I was going to go in, but you know what?
Oh
This is
my
good too.
God! All
Benjamin
right, guys.
Franklin always used to say that you should get together with people, like-minded folks that talk about things like what we're doing, and you'll have a much richer life. So thank you, gentlemen. I
Yes,
appreciate you
iron
both.
Thank you.
sharpens iron.
Thank you.
Iron sharpens iron. I love it. You guys did a great job today. Thank you very much, and we'll let everybody go.
Yes,
Talk to you
sir.
soon, guys. Have a
Shout
great night.
out.
Thanks.